Welcome to Narak, France, a tiny, quiet little town in the south of France that ended up being the perfect possible place for a reset, especially a creative one. We started in this gorgeous little Airbnb that instantly felt homey. Our days were really simple, honestly. We'd wake up, work a little bit on our own projects, walk around town almost every day, sometimes grabbing pastries, sometimes just wandering and enjoying our surroundings. The streets always had people moving around, but it never felt busy, just steady and peaceful. Our Airbnb had 2 bedrooms, so Michael turned the second room into his art studio. He rearranged a little bit, made it his own, and spent the next 3 weeks making sculptures and taking regular trips to the hardware store down the road for new supplies. It was really nice watching him work through his own process and at the same time diving into my own creative world. I spent a good part of each day sitting in the living room, working on my writing, admiring the changing leaves outside. And by the time we left, Michael had finished 3 whole sculptures, and I hit 90,000 words on my book, just 10,000 away from my 100K word goal, which left me feeling so proud of myself, so accomplished, so connected to what I'm building, and really excited to keep going. It's such a special thing to be creating, especially right next to someone you love who's also creating something of their own. It was just such a beautiful experience that I'm so thankful I got to have with him. Most nights we kept things simple. Grocery store runs, cooking dinner at home. Well, Michael cooked dinner at home. I poured the wine and handled the baguette situation. Then we would end the night reading or watching a show together, just fully sinking into the coziness of it all. The first thing we noticed about Narak was how quiet it is. Most shops were closed, like all the time. Restaurants too. It became this running joke. Things would suddenly spring to life on a Thursday and a Saturday, and there was a big market on one of the Saturdays we were there, but otherwise, the town felt really slow and really calm, which was exactly what I needed. We did take 2 days to visit Bordeaux and Saint-Émilion, which were only about an hour and 45 minutes away. Those days were incredible, beautiful, high energy, full of walking culture and stunning views. I actually made a whole video on those day trips, which I'll leave linked in the description below if you want to check that one out too. The bigger story of this trip, though, the more meaningful side that I would like to share with you, was what was happening internally. Before coming here, both of us were feeling a bit chaotic, just craving space to create without noise or pressure, and not to escape life necessarily, but to meet ourselves inside our work. Of course, I've had moments of stress, moments of anxiety, of wondering if leaving my quote-unquote normal job was the right decision. But being here in the south of France, nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, reminded me of something. My feelings are not facts. Feeling scared, feeling anxious doesn't mean I chose wrong. It means I chose different. I chose bigger out of belief in myself, not fear of what could go wrong. I need to grow into the person who can hold what I ultimately want, and in order to do that, I need to choose differently. And that's exactly what I did coming here, making this jump, taking the leap, well before I even knew I was going to be in Nérac, France for a few weeks. And though the process of becoming who I need to become to hold what I want started a long time ago, it really felt like this 3-week in Narak was my launching pad. I finally had the time and space to get clear on what I actually authentically want and what the next right step is going toward that. There were days where that old voice, old story crept in, the one that says, "You're not doing enough. You don't deserve this. You should be working harder. You should be working like everyone else. Every time it showed up, I made myself choose alignment over fear, even though I did feel a little anxious in those moments, right? It's not like I all of a sudden don't feel those things. It's just that I have to consciously decide to keep choosing differently for what I ultimately want. So every time that came up, I put on some fantasy music, sat down, and I wrote. I forced myself back into the world I'm building because that's the version of me I want to trust. And slowly the old story got quieter. It became easier to believe that maybe I'm actually leaping towards something that's meant for me. Maybe I deserve the life I'm creating. That joy and freedom and creativity aren't things I have to earn through struggle, but they're within, and I can embody them, and I can choose them every day in big and small ways. I almost didn't take this leap. I almost stayed where I was, choosing the same fear-based way as always, and I'm so glad I didn't. I loved this trip. I loved who I was becoming on this trip. I feel magnetic as fuck. It felt like the perfect beginning to this new season of life. If you have been craving your own creative spark, let this be your sign to create your own retreat, create your own reset. It doesn't have to be 3 weeks in another country. It can be 1 hour in your living room, or an afternoon in a coffee shop, or a whole weekend devoted to making something that lights you up. The time you intentionally take to create, whatever that looks like for you, will bring so much goodness into your heart, your mind, your soul. It's going to overflow into every other aspect of your life. We live in a world that encourages us to be constantly consuming, but we are human beings. We need output too. Maybe you kind of feel like shit. Maybe you kind of feel lost or a little all over the place because you're just constantly consuming. When was the last time you created? When was the last time that you had some type of output?
Bye, bench. Bye, church. Bye, castle. Bye, river. We're getting ready to leave. Bye, little house. We'll miss you.
I hope after watching this video and seeing that it was able to happen for me, you realize it's possible for you too. So here's to choosing the life that excites you, and here's to creating something beautiful.